5 World Hot News You Should Know from May 7 to 11 of 2021. Welcome to Viet US 1040 channel, the world's hot news. Today we would like to share 5 world hot news that you should know from May 7 to 11 of 2021 as follows. Newsletter 1. India has an outbreak of black fungus Mucormycosis. Newsletter 2. Shocked with news that Hyundai has recalled more than 390,000 vehicles in the United States and Canada because of the risk of fire. Newsletter 3. Hot news: WHO gives new labels to Indian strains. Newsletter 4. 30 years of neglect in the vaccine industry, Japan now has to pay a high price. Newsletter 5. It was a big surprise when a 23-year-old girl in Italy was mistakenly injected with 6 doses of COVID-19 vaccine at the same time. Here are the detailed bulletins. Newsletter 1. India has an outbreak of black fungus Mucormycosis. Currently in India, there is an outbreak of a very dangerous black fungus disease, which is actually a fungal infection of the type Mucormycosis. Most of all, this disease broke out and emerged right on the very serious coronavirus epidemic that was devastating this populous country. According to medical experts, this is a rare fungal infection known as black fungus. It affects the sinuses or lungs after inhalation of fungal spores, commonly found in muddy areas, wet ground, plants, and rotting vegetables. Mucormycosis is a serious but rare fungal infection caused by a group of molds called mucormycetes. These molds live throughout the environment. Mucormycosis mainly affects people who have health problems or take medicines that lower the body's ability to fight germs and sickness. It most commonly affects the sinuses or the lungs after inhaling fungal spores from the air. It can also occur on the skin after a cut, burn, or other type of skin injury. According to the latest report, symptoms of black fungus are again found in patients with COVID-19 and those who have recently recovered from acute respiratory infections. Even stranger, it was reported that after giving a patient infected with COVID-19 to a ventilator, the chance of getting infected with the black fungus increases. One latest report shows that in the state of Gujarat, India, within the past 2 weeks detected 40 cases of black fungus. Because of this fungal infection, some patients have lost their eyesight. It is heartbreaking. Moreover, quoted a senior official, at least 8 people in Maharashtra state who survived coronavirus infection but died after mucormycosis. While India is in the midst of a medical crisis, when the authorities are unable to supply enough oxygen to COVID-infected patients, now more black fungus is spreading. The situation is even more serious. Newsletter 2. Shocked with news that Hyundai has recalled more than 390,000 vehicles in the United States and Canada because of the risk of fire. Recently, there is a big shocking news when Hyundai has just announced 2 recalls affecting more than 390,000 vehicles in the United States and Canada. The vehicles on this list include Santa Fe Sport, Elantra, Kona and Veloster with an explosion hazard. Details say the first recall involved more than 203,000 Santa Fe Sport models produced between 2013 and 2015. Braking fluid from these cells could leak into the anti-lock brakes, causing it shortens and causes a fire. Hyundai Santa Fe Sport owners who encountered a recall-related error are encouraged to leave their vehicle outdoors and away from buildings until the problem is fixed. Hyundai says it will solve this problem by replacing the fuse, and if necessary, it will also replace the ABS handling system. The South Korean automaker recorded 18 fires in the U.S. stemming from a fault on Hyundai cars, but fortunately there have not been any related injuries. It is said that owners will be notified of the car recall in June this year. This is not the first time Santa Fe Sport has been recalled because of this issue. Earlier in September 2020, this model had another similar recall. However, Hyundai said this latest recall is to strengthen remedial measures for that first recall in September 2020. In another development, Hyundai also announced the recall of nearly 187,000 Elantra models 2019, 2020, Kona 2019, 2021 and Veloster 2019, 2021 using 2.0L engines. The engines in these vehicles may have been fitted with non-properly heat-treated piston oil rings. This causes the vehicle to increase oil consumption, make noise, or cause engine stalling and stalling. Even in many cases, the vehicle is capable of oil leaks and fire. Hyundai will notify vehicle owners of the recall by the end of June 2021. All vehicles will be updated with engine control software, and if damage is detected during inspection, the engine will be replaced free. Newsletter 3. Hot news: WHO gives new labels to Indian strains. The World Health Organization, WHO, recently listed VIETUS1040, also known as the Indian variant, as the strain of global concern. According to Maria van Kerkhove, the leading virologist of the World Health Organization, WHO, told the press on May 10, 2021, that we classify variant VIETUS1040 as globally worrying. The reason given is that information is available to show that the above strain is more contagious. Detailed information said that the virus of this variant carries two important mutations, L452R and E484Q. Both of these mutations help the virus increase its ability to evade the human immune system and thereby spread its strength. Anurag Agrawal, director of the Indian Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, said the infection rate of this strain could be up to more than 60% higher. This variant was first discovered in India in December 2020, although an earlier version of it was discovered in October 2020. This variation has spread to a number of other countries, and so many countries decide to limit their travel or stop all movement with India. Newsletter 4. 30 years of neglecting the vaccine industry, Japan now has to pay a high price. We should know that during the 1980s, Japan possessed the world's leading vaccine technology in the treatment of chickenpox, encephalitis, and pertussis. These invaluable technologies have been transferred to the US and other countries. After that, vaccine development in Japan almost completely halted after a 1992 court ruling that required the government to compensate people with side effects after vaccination. Furthermore, vaccination was no longer required after the government revised the legislation in 1994. Since then, vaccination rates in Japan have declined as parents became more concerned about side effects. So that is exactly where Japan is now facing a vaccine gap. In the US and Europe, the product licensing process only takes a few years, but the figure in Japan is more than 10 years. Japan's Ministry of Health has specifically licensed the Pfizer vaccine for the elderly, but this licensing process only applies to foreign vaccines. The sad fact is that while the whole world is urgently developing COVID-19 vaccine, no vaccine produced by a Japanese company has been approved. The media said that Japan was left behind the United States, Great Britain, China, Russia, and many other countries in the race to develop a vaccine against COVID-19. The root cause is believed to have been 30 years of not trying to eliminate suspicions in the hearts of the vaccine's side effects, and Japan has now paid a hefty price for the mistake. There is a gap in vaccines because there are still gaps in the policy, the Japanese scientists say. On the other hand, technology and research talent are also flowing out of Japan. Newsletter 5. It was a big surprise when a 23-year-old girl in Italy was mistakenly injected with 6 doses of COVID-19 vaccine at the same time. A 23-year-old girl in Italy is being observed at Tuscany Hospital after being given 6 doses of Pfizer-BioNTech's COVID-19 vaccine at a time due to a nurse's fault, according to the AGI news agency on May 10, 2021. The young girl, a university student, is in stable condition after an infusion of paracetamol following the terrible mistaken injection on May 9. Instead of a single injection, the nurse injected the entire bottle of COVID-19 of the Pfizer-BioNTech partnership for the female student, equivalent to 6 doses of the vaccine. It is known that such overdoses of the above vaccines have been reported in the US, Australia, Germany, and Israel. It has been reported that some staff at a nursing home in Germany have been overdosed 5 times with COVID-19 vaccines, causing half of them to be hospitalized. We should know more that the previous studies aimed at examining the overdose status of the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine showed that the maximum limit when this vaccine is given once is only 4 doses. The problem of being mistakenly injected with COVID-19 vaccine creates great concern because of the carelessness and confusing mistakes of some nurses. video here is the end. Thank you for your follow-up attention. If you find that the channel's video is useful, please take a moment to subscribe, like, and support the channel. Thank you very much and see you again in the next channel video.